Update 2. My sister told me, I'm coming back home to give birth, so you need to leave, lol. I thought to myself, but I'm the one paying the $5,000 monthly mortgage for the house. Later, all my belongings were thrown away, so I decided to move into a luxury condo by myself on moving day. I received a notice for an unpaid mortgage. When I checked, there was no money in my father's account. She rattled on before I could even answer, clearly in a panic. Julia, do you know why this happened? Don't tell me you withdrew it. In contrast to her frantic tone, I answered calmly, all I did was stop making deposits. I didn't withdraw anything. If there's an unpaid mortgage, it means the withdrawal couldn't be made, right? Did you make sure there was enough balance on the withdrawal date? You didn't make a deposit? Why? She asked, sounding genuinely puzzled. I became just as confused. Because it was agreed that I would contribute to the living expenses and the mortgage while I was living at home. Once I left, I obviously wouldn't continue to pay, right? I don't live there anymore. It finally seemed to dawn on her as I heard her gasp softly. So, you don't need to pay the living expenses? You're right. But could you still contribute to the mortgage even living on your own? You should have some leeway, right? Sorry, but I can't. My current rent alone is $5,000. I'm stretched thin as it is, covering my own living costs, let alone paying for a mortgage on a house I'll never return to. $5,000? You're just an ordinary employee. How could you afford such a place? Hearing my mother's astonished voice, I sighed. That's the same amount I used to give home every month. Asking such a thing now. It's clear you never really cared about me. If that's the case, I can't discuss money with you any further. I'm not your personal ATM. I could hear my mother whimpering over the phone. No. No. She repeated, her voice thinner than I had ever heard it. I felt no pity. A month had passed since I left quietly, yet there was no concern over my well-being, only about the mortgage and living expenses. My rent. Only money. It painfully highlighted that their interest was not in me but in my finances. That's why I hadn't felt compelled to share that I was extensively freelancing online, making far more than my father's monthly salary. The house mortgage still had 15 years left, so I had been depositing $5,500 every month, including savings. It seems my mother mistook it as my father's income. Given his age and years of service, her assumption was understandable, yet she never noticed the exact amount deposited every month. A glance at my father's pay slip would have clarified the discrepancy. Ultimately, my mother didn't care about the source of the money, which is why she failed to notice when the monthly income halved, leading to a shortage and subsequent mortgage payment failures. She only noticed when prompted by a notice, when the absence was finally felt. She acted in a manner so typical of her, I could only offer a faint smile. Lately, she had been indulging my sister's demands for expensive baby items, further straining their finances. But without your contributions, we can't make ends meet. Could you send some money as remittance? I've told you I can't. Why don't you ask Kristen to contribute a bit for living expenses? If that's not enough, maybe you should increase your part-time work. As I conveyed this, my mother's shriek pierced my ears. Kristen just had a baby. How can I work more and leave her alone with the baby? Are you suggesting Kristen should work too? How could you say such awful things? I clarified, that's not what I meant. If Kristen and Matt, as a couple, are going to live at Mom and Dad's house, then they should be contributing some amount towards the living expenses. I did the same, didn't I? And isn't Matt still working? Yet you're planning to live together without contributing anything? After calmly responding to avoid provoking my mother, silence followed. Staying there temporarily might be fine, I continued, but Kristen said she plans to live there forever and Dad seems to think the same. So, it would be better for everyone living together from now on to discuss how to handle finances and share the burden. I've already left the house, so I can't be part of that discussion.